Governments worried about their defeated opposition instead of ministering to those they meant to represent. As I said, builders are going broke, but subcontractors don't know which builders are about to collapse. So the subby doesn't know whether to tender. But if the subby gets no work, his solvency is under threat. Where is government seeking to restore solvency confidence in leading building companies? Or do we just see more and more of them go to the wall? This crisis, believe me, is more potentially damaging than the problem of higher interest rates. You might remember in the global financial crisis, banks were under siege everywhere. The problem originated in America, where central government's social policy basically mandated the lending of money to individuals and entities that couldn't afford repayments. But in the new woke world, where the lion must lie down with the lamb, everyone was entitled to a loan. Well, the borrower went under and the banks went under. And Australians with deposits were worried about whether or not those deposits were secure, or should they put their money under the bed. You might remember the then Treasurer issued an Australian government guarantee for the first $1 million of bank deposits. And for his trouble, Wayne Swan was the World Finance Minister of the Year. Well, today we have builders who have tendered on fixed prices, but the cost of materials has gone up. The availability of labour has gone down. Builders gave themselves a margin, but that's now proving inadequate. So as I said earlier, the casualties in the construction industry mount. What is the Albanese government's response? Well, they want to abolish the Australian Building and Construction Commission. Yet one arm of the Commission forced major builders to pay subcontractors quickly. That protection has now been withdrawn by the new government. What happens to the subby? What happens to the industry? What happens to home building? And if huge numbers of builders have had a gutful, which they have, and plan to leave the industry, what happens to the massive infrastructure commitments made by the Albanese government? What happens to the massive housing shortfall? And how many years is it going to take to restore capacity and repair the damage? And if banks continue to play their selfish games, cutting back the amount that they'll lend on a new house by 10 to 15%, how much are they contributing to this looming crisis? The construction industry is a major national industry. It is in crisis right now, while the Albanese government is talking about Morrison and censure motions and The Voice and 82% renewables by 2030. I'll tell you something. It's Monday, August 22, 2022. You heard it here from me. If this keeps going, it won't be long before the new government is branded as irrelevant to the nation's pressing needs. And when that happens, the political exit door is not far away.